name is Dallas Green, and I'm just here to talk about some real estate and economics. If you've been to my channel before and seen my other videos, welcome back. Congratulations, you made it here. And where did I disappear to? Why did I disappear? Because sometimes life just makes you disappear. You know what I'm saying? But here I am today, here to do a video basically about real estate and economics because that's what fascinates me the most. So first I'm gonna start off with the housing market. I'm just gonna jump straight into everything because no point in wasting anybody's time. Jumping into the housing market, and where do we sit at currently as of 2026 January, the first month. Currently the national sales, they're at a median of 433,000, and currently we have a fixed rate of 6.2%. So houses have increased by 0.7% on a national level, and house prices are decreasing though in places like Florida, more in the south type area, and moving west towards Texas. Prices are rising more in the upper East Coast to the Midwest area, trickling down to the more eastern states. In the top 300 metro living areas, 98 major housing markets have seen a decline, but the other 202 have annual gains. So you win some, you lose some, but we're losing more than we're winning. The unaffordability crisis will not be ending anytime soon. And in May, the Feds, when they meet again, they likely will cut rates, especially now that they're being pressured by the Trump administration with legal litigation because they are not lowering the rates fast enough, which technically hasn't been said, but if you see what's going on in the news today, that's pretty much what's happening. So median house prices to rise about 4% according to the National Association of Realtors, right? People owning a home will gain equity, but the people that don't own homes, it's just going to make it a lot harder for you to get a home because prices are going to keep rising. With everything that we got going on in the economy currently, we can't build more homes at the rate that we were building new homes because of inflation. So even if we were to build new homes, they're still going to have a higher price. It's going to take a little bit longer because things are going up. Everything's going up, and that also affects building materials for houses. So they shut down the government, and so they technically couldn't track the inflation as it's going up because the government shut down and no one was getting paid for their job. So they're giving us a report that it's at 2.7%, when in reality it's around 6 to 10%, somewhere in between there. That's all we know. And so the money printing, they are printing money, 40 billion a month, if you will. And so why is this? Because the American financial system is exactly that. It is a system. The financial system cannot run without the proper amount of money. So when we had COVID, there was inflation because they stepped in and they started printing more money. They printed so much money, it raised the money in circulation to 9 trillion. Then since 2023 to 2025, they have stopped printing money and started to take money out of the system. They brought it down to 6.6 trillion, which lowers the inflation. But now the money printers are back on, and they necessarily can't print 9 trillion. They must print more than 9 trillion now because they need more money in the system to keep it flowing. What this essentially is going to do, it's going to raise prices, it's going to raise stocks, it's going to raise the price of gold. Now, I found something super interesting, which is maybe obvious to a lot of people, but the price of gold necessarily isn't directly related to inflation. It's related to the dollar amount of the currency. And so as the US dollar becomes more worthless and loses its value, gold rises for us, because it takes more of the US dollar to buy it. Which, I don't know, that may be like common sense to a lot of people. But when I heard that, I found that kind of interesting. It is related to inflation because our dollar loses value, but I don't know, I just found that interesting. So, along with all that, we have Trump pursuing the Federal Reserve for he's going after them because they're renovating some buildings, which costs like $500 billion. I'm not gonna lie, the budget is kind of insane. But this man just built a whole ballroom with also an insane budget. So he is trying to go after the chairman legally. And he's saying because of this building that you're building, you know, the renovations that you're making in this building. And it's technically not. It's because the Federal Reserve historically has always been separate from the economy, not the economy, the politics. And it's meant to be that way, so it's not influenced by the politics. And the current guy that, I don't know his name, and I should. You know, the one guy. I'm gonna pop a picture of him right here. So he's pretty much being threatened with lawsuits and legal actions about this renovation that he's doing, but it's really just to pressure him to print money faster and lower interest rates faster. But it's like, that's not going to do anything for the people, you know. Lower rates are super cool, you know, but it's like we don't have necessarily the demand for the lower rates. And printing more money is not good because our prices keep raising and we're not getting $40 billion a month. Only Trump is in the government. And do I believe it will be handled misappropriately? I'm not sure if I said that right, but it felt right. 100%. So, yeah, that's where we are. You know, I'll keep you updated. I hope that all made sense to you guys because it made sense to me in my little notes. So yeah, you know, I hope y'all have a good day. And if you got any questions, comments, concerns, if you're interested in buying and selling real estate and you want to know how the economy is affecting your dollar and how the national rates of rent are up 20% and you have no equity, but your landlords have equity, if you want to get some equity of your own, you better call me. So yeah, you know, have a good day, guys.